Okay, guys, here we go with a new customer guitar. This is my good friend and from Facebook, and we finally met the other day. He came up and dropped off this Leo Jayms Tempest, and it's been modified to a point where it's got some knockoff invaders in it, and nothing is hooked up here. And so we need to do all electronics in it and hook these up. But he's complaining about harmonics not coming out on the guitar, and I believe we have found the issue where we need to put a little relief in this neck. It's got a back bow in it, so we need the 4mm. Go over here in the toolbox, get the 4mm, the long T-handled 4mm, and we shall put some relief in it. Why are we not cooperating? There we go. I'm going to take about a quarter turn out of it, and we're going to see where we're at. We have just a little bit of relief. So that should make it. Now we're very lucky we don't have to do any fretwork on this, because we have rounded ball and stainless steel frets. These are Leo Jayms does impeccable fretwork. So I'm happy with the fretwork. And I'm happy now with the this is hitting the pickup. That's not happy. That's not happy. And these are really high, so these giant magnetic pull pieces are pulling these strings down to, listen to that already. And it's not intonated. We need to intonate it. We'll do a setup on it later. But I am happy with the way the truss rod has responded. And we're going to move on from there. Next, we'll be turning this over. And we will be gutting the electronics out of it, because he wants these all replaced. It's a decent switch, I believe. I think we're going to reuse the switch, but we're putting a really nice CTS pod in it. CTS is Chicago Telegraph System, in case you guys didn't know. CTS has been around since the 1920s, I believe. And they are the industry standard in audio pots for guitars. There are some great companies out there, Bourne's, Alpha. They do make great pots. Seymour makes great pots. DiMarzio makes great pots. But mostly they are rebadged Bourne's or Alphas. CTS is the industry standard, just like Switchcraft is your industry standard for switching. Most of my customers want to work on a budget, so most of my customers are getting Geiger, because Geiger does stuff on a budget. So here we go. We're going to flip this, and we're going to, this used to have active pickups in it, I guess. I don't know if this came stock with actives or somebody had actives put in it. This looks like a factory job for the battery box. But in here is where there used to be a kill switch. There's a plug in there, and there is one of these little Chinese dime-sized pots, but a very nice switch. Now, but nothing's hooked up. Nothing is hooked up. None of these wires are hooked up. I'm going to trust the person who put these in here because they have the yellow and the white together, and the red, and then here's your grounds. I will check these with a volt-ohm meter to make sure we're good. But all this stuff has to come out. This is a chassis ground, I believe. Let me see what's in there. Yeah, the yellow wire going to the claw. So that's our chassis ground. And pull this knob off and take this off. We're going to take the switch out too, just because it's easier to work on as not in ear. It's easier to work on out of the guitar than it is in the guitar. Don't worry, I'm not scratching this beautiful flame veneer. This is a padded spanner wrench, so it's not harming the top. There's our switch and our pot. I don't believe the jack's been messed with, but we're gonna mess with it. We are gonna mess with it. I'd like to put a kill switch in here. I'm thinking. So let me pause while I do a little pondering and see if I have any micro switches. And if I do, we're going to put a kill switch in here and get rid of that. So let me pause.
You got the beautiful vine inlays right there. Jay Custom Ibanez headstock right there. Oh my God.
All right. Here we go. We're hooking up the orange pots to the switch assembly that I just did. And this should be fairly simple. Wow, okay. We want a little more solder. We want a little more solder. A little more solder. We want a little more solder. Okay, so that's hooked up. That's hooked up. So we should get signal now when we put, where is the jack that came with that? I don't see it. Oh, so I'm an idiot. No, there it is. There it is. Dumb ass. So this should work. Put this jack in the hole. Screwdriver. It'd be easier just to take this plate off instead of trying to fish the jack into the plate. There we go. Let's fish the jack completely through the hole then. There we go. Fished. Fished. And we gotta bend these because they're too far out. Let's put the jack on the plate, the washer. Screw on it. We're going to tighten this up. Put the plate back on. There we go. Remember, kids, always do my little trick for your screw holes. Why is that screw hole not lining up? There we go. Always do my little trick. What you want to do is get your screw backwards first in the hole till it clicks, and then go forward. That way you'll never strip out your threads. If you've got a hole already started, it's already had a screw in it, you don't want to strip these little tiny threads out. So that's the way you do it. All right, so here is the tone pot. Tone pot is now the star of the show. We need to strip this ground wire. There we go. And we need to strip more of this one. We need more. There we go. And these will get soldered to the back of this pot. So what I'm going to do is tie these together. Yeah, and that worked just marvelously, didn't it? All right, let's get this nice and hot. Don't want to get too hot, you can overheat the pot. I'm going to to try not to cover up any of the markings on the pot. That's a big thing these days. People want to see all the markings on the pot. You know? And, you know, that's a big thing. There we go. Now this should be 100%. Put some stuff away. So now we're going to need a spanner, I believe. So here we go. We need to put this pot in that hole, and this pot in that hole. And of course, I do not know why these are not going through. All right. Well, you know what that means. Ah, look at that. That's why we still had nuts on there. Okay. Of course, you know, guys, I can be an idiot sometimes and I'm not watching what I'm doing. So that was me not watching what I'm doing, because there was still the nuts on the pots. All right, so let's get them in there. I did it backwards again, didn't I? No, I didn't. There we go. Now they'll go in. There we go. 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 I'm going to have to find some matching knobs. This only came in with one knob, because they had that block off for what used to be a kill switch in there. So I'm going to find some matching knobs for this. I'm hoping I can find some black ones. Or matching knob to the one, I might have one knob that matches the one they already had. So, break out the 10 millimeter. And it don't work because these are 11. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? So we use a spanner. And that's not working, because it's not on the nut. It's not on the threads. Why isn't it on the threads? Ah, there we go. Now it's on the threads. Just like that one. And we used a spanner knob, spanner wrench. Tighten these up. Come on. Didn't want to let loose. Had it on there too tight. There we go. And there we have it, folks. New install. Let's find some matching knobs, shall we? Pause. All right, now we're going to get this all tuned up. The electronics are all in, and the wires stop popping off of the leads. We're going to get this all tuned up, and as you saw before, earlier in the video, we did a truss rod adjustment on this. Just gave it a little bit of a relief so that the strings could be allowed to sing. And I believe he had this in standard tuning. I usually like using E flat just because Hendrix and SRV told us that was the way to go. But this guy plays a lot of Metallica. Metallica is standard tuning. So I believe he has 9 to 42 on this. These were brand new strings. He said he didn't want them changed. So we just adjusted the truss rod to make the strings sing a little more because they were getting choked out in the middle of the neck. The frets are dead level, but the neck had a little bit of a back bow in it. So when you have really level frets and really good frets, with these stainless steel ones, when you have really level frets and back bow, you are looking at issues. And we get out the Music Nomad kit here. Music Nomad is not a sponsor, hint hint, but I use a lot of their tools. They are more budget minded than a lot of the StewMac stuff. And a Music Nomad has this great file called a save file. And a save file will only crown your frets to a certain point. And when your frets get crowned to that certain point, it will no longer crown the top of the fret. The low E is pretty much on. A is dead on. I think D is going to be flat. Yeah, D is flat. So we need to adjust that. And let me see what that is. Is that a 2? No, it is not. Something smaller. Maybe a... I don't think it's an American, is it? Yes, it is. Wow, it is a 1/16. So we're going to need to bring that string up a little bit. And I believe that's the way you intonate this guitar. Am I not correct? hit it with a hammer. There we go, maybe. Now we're dead on. Okay. That's all it took, just that little bit. Get it tightened back down. You might have to. Yeah, I don't think it's a 1/16. Holy shit. Why is that trapped in there now? There it comes. Yeah, it's definitely a metric that I thought was a 1/16. Might be a 1.5. Yeah, it's a 1.5. It is a metric. Check the G. Dead on, dead on, dead on. Yeah, our E, D, E, A, and D are dead on. G's pretty damn on. B is pretty on. There we go. We only had to move one. Our D was a little flat, but we're looking pretty good here now. We're starting to get that staircase effect. So I am not going to complain. Just that D being out made it look like it was straight across. And as you know from our experience with Fender guitars, when they show up with the saddle straight across, they've never been touched. Never by QC, by anybody. Yeah, this is all in tune, ready to go. And we shall do a tone test. Best of our abilities so we don't wake our neighbors, because we do live in a high rise now. So we'll do a tone test with some clean tones and some dirty tones and see how that comes out. Shall we? Pause. Be right back. Okay guys, this is the best we're going to be able to do here. Much nicer with the harmonics now that the neck is letting the strings breathe a little. And You get the idea. This thing works very nicely. With these pickups, you just want to be in a drop tuning. Has a nice kind of greeny tone going on. It's pretty cool. But that is it for the Leo Jayms Tempest. Brought to me by my good friend Jay for some work. We intonated it. We adjusted the truss rod to make the neck breathe a little better, and we installed a whole brand new harness and hooked up these aftermarket copies of Seymour Duncan Invaders, and they don't sound bad. They're not microphonic. Not really. They're not really microphonic. I think they sound pretty cool. They're a little muddier than a real Invader, but this works out good. He has the bridge decked, so I'm not messing with the bridge, only other to set the intonation. The action is quite nice on this, and if you want to go any lower, we can go a little bit lower with the bridge, but we would have to take this neck off and shim it, which is no big deal. But here it is. Here is the Leo Jayms Tempest Purple Burst with knockoff Invaders and a Wilkinson trim. This thing is killer. Great guitar. These are budget guitars. The fretwork on these is impeccable. I just received a Fender neck the other day that I'm putting on one of my new relics. And the fret heads were so sharp you could carve a filet mignon with it. And it was horrible. And it was a takeoff neck. So this is off a factory guitar. And it just, Fender, whatever you're doing it wrong. And then you're going and suing people for making better shit than you do. You're out of your tree. Like, subscribe, comment. I don't care if you got good comments or bad. I screwed up a lot on this guitar. I'm a little rusty, so let's just call it a little ring rust going on here. But I fixed what I screwed up. That's the difference between me and other guys around here. And I admit it. And I don't charge half as much as they do. So please subscribe. A few more subscribers. We're going to climb over some milestones here, and we might start getting ads on our content. And when we get ads in the content, then I get a couple shekels for every time my videos are seen. So that would be really cool for me, and really cool for you guys, because then I can afford to do more videos and more cool stuff. So we do have 3 great big builds coming up. We have a V bass build coming up. Same guy that contracted me for the G3. It's going to be a labor of love. It's going to be a great bass, though. And I have a dual humbucker telly coming up. And I have another Relic Strat, red this time, red Relic. So stay tuned. Stay weird. Have a great weekend. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and please comment. Thank you.